How about now? Is that working now? That might be it. There we go. Oh my goodness, finally. Oh, what is PlayStation doing to me? Welcome everyone to the 2028 off-season. Episode number 15 of our live fantasy draft franchise mode series on NHL 24 with the Arizona Coyotes. The We're Not Leaving franchise mode. They tried to push us out. That was Gary Bettman trying to push us out right there. We're not leaving. After the last one, sorry about that. It was I had one episode, the 4 minutes of stream that didn't work, and then I opened it up again, and that was the last another 2 minutes of it not working. My apologies. I don't know what it was. I unplugged and replugged the microphone a few times. Press mute and unmute on my settings and on my controller, and now it works. I literally don't know what it was. Anyways, in the last one, we, as the 1 seed, back-to-back President's Trophy winners, fell in round 2 to the second place St. Louis Blues, who went on to win the Stanley Cup. So through our 5 seasons here in Arizona so far, we had a Stanley Cup in year 3, we had President's Trophies in years 4 and 5, but the last 2 years we've fallen in round 1 or 2, and not even making it to the conference final or further. So, yes, this team is great. Yes, there's a lot to be happy with and not have to change too much. But there are still some things we got to do. I don't know if we can roll back the exact same team. Like, Wu Mei was a woman-possessed, 14 goals and 17 points in just 10 games. The captain, 15 and 10. 4 players who are point-per-game plus, but Slim Shady, disappointment. Mikko Rantanen, 5 points and 3 goals from a 57-goal, 101-point player. Disappointment. There was a lot that didn't come through for us, I find. And especially Jordan Zume, who had 0 points in 10 games as an 84 overall. Dustin Wolf was okay as the Vezina Trophy winner. He had an incredible season, 8 shutouts. You're not going to get seasons like that every year, so it's upsetting that was kind of squandered. But yeah, that was the season that was, and now we move into this offseason with the 2nd overall pick that came from the Marco Kasper offer sheet last year from Calgary. This, I think, was the 5th overall pick that jumped up to the 2nd overall pick, so that's what we have to think about when it comes to who we're going to be drafting. So, give me a quick second while I just fix up the video details, because that was an odd one, as the PlayStation tried to fool around with me. So we can either essentially draft at number 2, or we can trade Zume and number 2 and like a 3rd round pick to move up for number 1. Those are our options. Or we can trade Zume for separate value, draft at number 2, and not have to use that just for a move up to number 1. Yes, it would be for a medium franchise gem in Tristan Moen, but this guy here, Maximus Manlow, looks extremely interesting as well. I wonder if it almost comes down to positions, because we seem to be okay center-wise. We have Roberto Coyle, we have Wyatt Johnson, we have Austin Matthews. Tristan Moen would fill in for Jordan Zume on the 3rd line right wing right away. But we don't need to force anything necessarily. Wolf's playoffs was good outside of that horrible game. Yeah, the horrible gameplay kill. His numbers were ruined by that last game where we went in and had all kinds of stuff happening. Manlow or trade Zume for 1, says Landon. So we'll get started around the 5-minute mark. It's already technically the 5-minute mark. So actually, we'll start at the 7-minute mark. If you're joining after you've gone live, you can hop into the 7-minute mark. That's when we get started. So I can just take care of these last couple things here because my PlayStation tried to fool me. I was talking to the ghosts there. Nobody was listening. Okay. So I hope everyone's having a lovely start to their week to end off the month of November, here on the 26th of November, 2024, as the year is winding down. There we go. 2028 off-season. Share the tweet. Tweet it out. There we go. Okay. Whew. So yeah, Vezina and Jennings from Wolf last year, as well as the Lady Bing. But it's funny. Our first 3 seasons, we win 45 games or less every year, and our combined playoff record, it's not great actually. Yeah, it's 17. No, it's 21 and 16. 21 and 16 in the playoffs, our first 2 runs, and our last 2 runs, we are 8 and 8 as 56 plus win teams the last 2 years. 8 and 8 in the playoffs with back-to-back President's Trophies. That's what makes me scratch my head a little bit. So there it is. Tristan Moen, who had 40 goals and 107 points with Moncton in the QMJHL. NHL ready, similar to Milan Lucic as a 6'4" power forward. Or we go for Maximus Manlo, who's a sniper, also 17, 95 points in 68 games in the U.S. system, similar to Mikko Koivu. Really, okay. A+ shooting, I'm sure that he's fine as well. So let me just pull up the comments from the last one, and then we'll start thinking of what our plan will be for the draft. I believe Steven had some thoughts on the last one. I think Jenzy McKenzie did as well. Sorry, just threw me off there at the beginning. Good old PlayStation. Okay, lives. All right, so turning to the AGMs who left some thoughts in the last one, starting it off with Steven, who said, "Hi Data, thanks for another episode with disappointing results at the end, but with some good news for us too, as the second overall pick is so good and much better than I hoped for at the beginning of the season. I know we'll use it to improve our team very soon. You may be surprised a little bit, but sorry, I'm trying to translate at the same time a bit. You may be surprised a little bit by what I say after this episode. I think if there was a team which was supposed to beat us, it would definitely be the Blues. They're good, they have depth that we don't, and I think this team, it was fair. This time probably it was fair. There we go. It happened because we let a 3-0 lead go after 2 periods in Game 3, which should not have happened to an experienced team as we are, I guess, and we never got back on track after that. Even though we have not been successful this time, we lost to the only team in the league who can stand a chance against us, and I think this round of the playoffs gives us a hope because we can be better next year. Yeah, I mentioned Coyle last year before the draft, and now we see all those awards. He won a bunch in the AHL. That's him saying to us he's the guy for the third line and maybe even the center of our second line in the future. It probably means Coyle has better potential on his position, which might also mean that Geeky will be out soon, and maybe we can use him as trade bait in this draft instead of playing him on the fourth line. Matthews started playing more like a playmaker now, so I guess we need one more goal scorer for the top 6. Crazy that we would have. We have Matthews, we have Rantanen, and we have May, all as 50-plus goal scorers in that top 6. But I don't think Matthews is going to stay as a playmaker. I think he's going to go back to his goal scoring. So I'm not so worried about the top 6 goal scoring. Back to what the comments said here. Let's be careful with who Wu Mei plays with because we might suffer with a bad fit as she's not very good defensively. That's true. Let's put her with 2 guys who are solid playmakers but also make up for her weaknesses on the other side of the rink. The second line suits her best. For the draft, I would lean to what our scouts say and draft Manlo, who's 17. Our scouts do have him ranked number 2, even though Central Scouting has him at 3 there. So in 2 years from now, he would be an animal. The best option for us would be right now sniper winger because we have plenty of playmakers and also looks like we have a good problem for our center position. But I say we can play centers with the worst face-off on the wings as we've done in other franchise moves in the past. Of course, if some miracle happens and the medium franchise drops from 1, then it would be a no-brainer. But these guys are all medium elite, not high elite, so I doubt that's going to happen, unfortunately. On defense on the right side, we're really strong as we have Shady, Nemec, and Boqvist, who are all 85 overall or more. And as you said, Boqvist can be traded. I don't know if I'd say that I guess he can be traded. I don't know if I'm shopping him. But if we need an upgrade on the left side, we have Griffin, who we drafted not too long ago, and he might want a spot on the left side on the third pair. Aside from that, Coyle, Chimera, Seneca, Goudreau, and possibly our second overall pick in the lineup, there's not many spots left to be filled in the bottom 6. Guys like Madden, Lee, Geeky, those can probably go along with Dumais. That's all I have for today. Let's be optimistic, and we have a mission. We're not giving up, and we are not leaving. Go Data, and go Data. Oof, sorry, that was a bit of a hard one for me to read as I'm trying to do a few things at the same time. And go Coyotes. Thank you, Steven. And Jenzy McKenzie also saying, the only NHL guy that I'd re-sign is Wyatt Johnston. Trade Dumais for future picks as it's not worth it to trade up for Moen because you can potentially get multiple elite guys that are on the same caliber as Moen in said Dumais trade. Now, I don't know if that's exact. I definitely think that we can get additional value from Dumais. But I don't think Dumais alone would give us multiple elite guys who are on the same caliber as Moen, who's a medium franchise. I think that's a bit of a stretch to say. But we would be able to say that Dumais on his own has a solid bit of value. it's not like he's a little tossed in the trade. He would be a considerable amount of value to move up to number 1. Zume has a solid block right there. I know it doesn't look like a ton, but that's good value. So if Zume would be packaged with pick number 2 and a 3rd round pick, we can move up to number 1 and get the medium franchise Moen. Or we draft at number 2, take Manlow, and then Zume with whatever else is excess, we can flip that for a future first-round pick potentially, or prospects, whatever else that we see on the block. Draft picks that can grow to Moen's caliber. Even then, I think that's a stretch. To get a draft pick from Zume, we'd be lucky to get a first. And that first would have to be lucky to get into the top 10. And one of those top 10 prospects would have to be lucky to get to medium franchise level. I see what you're saying, and I agree with the value that Zume would bring in, but I don't know if I would say quite that. Let me go back to the contracts now. Hey, Vasi, welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it. We're into the 2028 off-season. If you haven't been following the series, Vasi, we are the President's Trophy winners, but we have the 2nd overall pick in this draft because we had an offer sheet, a rare offer sheet popped up last off-season. Marco Kasper went to Calgary. They gave us their 1st. It ended up being the 5th, and the 5th won the lottery to move up to number 2. So there we go. So if we look at our system now, we look at our roster for the forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The top 6 is still solid. That's not changing. Beckett Seneca up to an 85. He might even push his way into that top 6. But Beckett Seneca is an 85. Hector Chimera is at an 81. He is a former 2nd round pick who had very good numbers in the AHL this past season, 65 points. Johnny Gaudreau has to be on that, at least on that 4th line. Connor Geekie is up to an 81 overall, but at 24 years of age with medium top 6 potential, he's not really going to be growing anymore. That's fine, but if we already have players who are coming in at the center position, maybe he's excess. I remember Casper in the team, but I didn't say that. Yes, exactly. So Casper, we tried to offering, we were giving him like good money, 8 by 6.5, 8 by even a little bit more. He wanted to go to free agency, and he signed like 4 years. Could it be at 6.3 or 6.4 in Calgary? And we ended up getting their 1st and 3rd. So no problem. Ends up being the 2nd overall pick. So Geeky, Madden. So Roberto Coyle's the big one. 19 years old now at 80 overall. The 11th overall pick 2 years ago in 2026. He spent the first year, the draft plus 1 year in the U.S. system, then came to the AHL last year. 31 goals and 76 points from Roberto Coyle. To now, let me just move down my volume a little bit. To now say, listen, I need NHL minutes. So when we count who's going where, we said here's our top 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3rd line, 1 in Seneca, 2, I would think, in Coyle. And then who's number 3? Is it Hector Chimera? If yes, that means Coyle's at center and Geeky gets put down to 4th line. I don't know if I want Geeky as 4th line center. We don't need to feel as though it's 3rd line or bust. We could keep him for 1 more year, see what happens. We have him signed on. But the 4th line would likely be Gaudreau, Geeky, and fill in the blank. Because probably like Tyler Madden. Because the 3rd would be Coyle, Chimera, and Seneca. Now, is that the 3rd line that we want to have? If we draft a Manlow, or if we draft a Moen, I think Geeky should stay on the 4th line. He probably doesn't have that much value. That's fair as well, Gen Z. Then where would that player slot into the lineup, right? So that would probably mean Hector Chimera bumping down to the 4th. I don't know if I like that. So whoever we draft, maybe they wait 1 more year. It's really going to depend on what their overall is. If they're 79 or 80, I could see waiting a year. But if they're like 81, 82, that's going to be harder to do. So let's go ahead and enter the draft now. Like I said, there's a couple of options. It's either 1 or 2, but we know we're getting a great prospect either way. If we enter the draft here to begin the 2028 off-season, I wonder if the first... No, we already looked. The first pick not up for grabs. The 3rd pick is up for grabs. Pick number 3 is on the block. But we're definitely drafting at 1 or 2. Now, if we look at the trade value that Connor Geeky has, I'm curious. Connor Geeky. Actually, Connor Geeky has a lot of value. Could we use Connor Geeky instead of Zume? Geeky and pick number 2. Would there be room for Connor Geeky in Washington? At the center position? I don't know. 1, 2, 3. I don't know if that would make a lot of sense for them then. Trade value-wise, how about forwards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But Mercer and Hyman are expiring. I don't know if that would make a lot of sense for Washington. To trade away a franchise player? I don't know if that would make sense for them. As much as I'd love the franchise player, we can use Zumei's value or Geeky's value, whatever it is, in a separate deal. Like if we look around the NHL very quickly, very quickly, just to show you an example. I know we only have a minute 50 here. Like if I'm looking at prospects, sorry, if I have skaters on the block, and I'm sorting my trade value looking for those prospects. I don't think there was a lot of prospects. The Skinner, Thompson, no. Like we could get a couple of, like 2 or 3 of these prospects could be what we get back in a Zumei trade or a Geeky trade. We do need a winger more than a centerman. But would it make sense for Washington? We could get a couple of these guys from the Canadians even in a Zumei trade. See, that's what I'm saying. Why go after... Why get only Moen when we could get Manlow and these 2 guys from the Canadians if I were to give them Jordan Zumei? I'd rather a franchise player over 2 top 6. All right, and that's your opinion. I appreciate you sharing it. Franchise over top 6. 1 franchise over 2 top 6 and a medium elite. They don't have any later picks as well, so I give them a 3rd there as well. And Zumei. Hey, come on. Are we giving this a green light? What are we saying here, ladies and gentlemen? We're about to get kicked out, probably. Ah, we got kicked out. No! Why? What's the point of the clock, then? What is the point of the clock? Nah. If we weren't confident enough to make it happen right away, if there was still a divide like that amongst the AGMs, then it wasn't meant to be. Plus, the bigger issue is why would Washington trade the medium franchise just to get Zumei in the lineup if he hasn't been good at all? So I think that's what was making me feel a bit more uncomfortable with it. Not I'm choosing Moen over Manlow or Manlow over Moen, but rather why would Washington do this? I think that's the bigger question that I was kind of keeping in my mind. So Maximus Manlow is going to be our guy at pick number 2. Yes, there's Wade Estrada on the wing. NHL ready, Patrick Kane, A+ puck skills. That's great. But Manlow, he's a year younger. He's NHL ready, putting up those sniper numbers. Something just speaking about him. The scouts like him more as well. Maximus, great name. So I think that's going to be our guy. Maximus Manlow with the 2nd overall pick. Let's get the jersey hot off the presses and head up to the podium. With the 2nd overall selection in the 2028 NHL entry draft, the Arizona Coyotes are proud to select from the U.S. development system, Maximus Manlow. Come on, Maximus, you are 80 overall. We'll take 80 overall. Thank you very much. Shooting. Thank you. All in the 90s right off the bat. And already the puck on a string superstar ability. Very nice. Now, I'm sure Moen has all kinds of things. 5-star shooting, 3.5-star physical, 4-star skating, the all-alone superstar ability as well. 17 years old. Yeah, but Maximus, welcome to Arizona, Maximus. And 78 faceoffs. I'll have to compare that to Roberto Coyle. And let's see, Wade Estrada. We could get pick number 3 even. Do we, like, with this? Hold on. Geeky and Zumei for 3? Hold on. Would that be too crazy? We already have a lot of prospects in our system. Then they'll be over that. I'll throw you 85. Who has no value for you? Hey. Okay. Like, should we try something like this, or what does Detroit need? They don't really need centermen, but do they need forwards? 1, 2, 3. This guy's gonna get signed. So 1, 2, 3, 4. No extensions are in yet. 4, 5, 6. Joseph Walks, let's say. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. A couple of them expiring. I don't know if Detroit really needs that. As a top team, I don't know if that makes sense for Detroit to do. Yeah, they're buyers. But Zume and Geeky for your 3rd overall pick. No, again, don't feel super comfortable with that. So, Wade Estrada, 80 overall, medium elite. And where would he go in our lineup, right? We already have a packed bottom 6. Where would he go in our lineup? I get it, Mark, but where would he go in our lineup? That's the problem. Okay, so then McGinnis goes at 4 medium elite, and then Mayer medium top 4D. Ouch. And Dallas takes medium top 6 forward, so the draft class just falls off a cliff after that. Is that it? Oberg, 76 overall. Ouch. Medium elite goes at 9. Medium top 4D. The Canadians have their pick on the block here. Medium top 6 grinder. Miroslav Tatar. Trade Wume? I don't think so. Not much else in this first round, or even in this entire draft class, honestly. Medium top 6 sniper. Marvin Smoskowski. Moskovsky. I wouldn't mind getting him at 33. Another Tatar in Montreal. Stanley Cracknell. 3-bar medium elite. Crab. Jamie Crab. This guy, we'll get this guy later on. Medium elite. In the 90s. Trade this year's pick for next year's pick. Well, I wouldn't mind getting a later first. Maybe even a team that has a couple of picks. Are there any teams at the bottom that have a couple of picks? The Islanders have 2, but they're not on the block. Let's sim towards there. Hey, Gavin, how's the defense situation looking? I'm behind a few episodes. So there's Tatar going 70 overall. Let's look at our defense. So on the right side, we're very strong. And on the left side, we're okay. On defense. So on the right, there's Shady, Boqvist, and... No, sorry. Nemec, sorry. Yeah, Shady, Nemec, and Boqvist. On the left, there's Byram, Tuzolino, and Bichelle. Now, next year, Griffin might want to make the team. I would think that he does. Stephen Griffin, who was our second-round pick in 2027. I would think he makes the team next year. Stephen Griffin as the 3rd pair. Bichelle might be 7th D. Tuzolino... Yeah, he's not super flashy, but he's a mid-80 overall guy with low lead potential who's eaten some big minutes the last couple of years. This year, it was a bit of a down year, but actually, no. I would see him being a full-time second-pair guy. I think Zachary Tuzolino can be the future Jalen Ramirez kind of player if you follow from our Starfleet series. So I prefer to keep Tuzolino on the second pair, not force him down. I think he has the potential to be a full-time second-pair guy. I like to see him there. So I think the defense is okay. Geeky and Zume are the ones that we'd be looking at trading out. So let me get towards those Islanders picks. I wonder if something would change and if they might have one on the block. Because we want to get value from Zume and Geeky. Would they want to trade one of these picks? No. Now Dallas wants to trade their... Sorry, Minnesota wants to trade one of their picks. Even... Okay, so now things are changing a little bit. But... Actually, was it already like this? I was hoping for a team that had 2 picks. So let's say we trade with Buffalo, probably. For their pick. Do they have any prospects out? They're buyers. You have some rookie skaters for me? Not much. Not much. Who else was there? Seattle, I saw. Seattle, you have any rookies for me? You're also buyers. Okay, here are some prospects. Okay, here we go. Let's build a nice little blockbuster. No, I'm not. Let's build a nice package with the Kraken. So, I'm going to give you pick 68, because 85 is going to be that medium elite prospect. I'm going to give you pick 68, and I'm going to give you Jordan Zume in exchange for... I'm going to give you more. Hang on. I'm going to give you pick... I want pick 30, and I want some prospects here. I would say Kari Yakimchuk's on the block, but I want one of these 2 guys. Richardson or Platt. Anthony Richardson. Hey, there you go. Quarterback. Anthony Richardson. Left-wing sniper. 15th overall pick in 2026, but only 3-star shooting for a sniper. And last year, why is he getting buried? Now, that makes sense to pick him up. He's getting buried. Playing 4th-line minutes at the AHL. At 30, we're going to take the Smoskowski, whatever his name is. That's a good reason for a good rationale. Steve Platt, center playmaker. We have centers maybe now. So I'd say let's go for Richardson. He's being buried. Reclamation project for Richardson. So give me Richardson. And now Seattle's over the salary cap. Hold on a sec. We'll have to come back into this one where I need a second. So, Seattle, allow me to let you dump some salary here. Granlund. Perfect. Give me Granlund. Now we're over the salary cap. Oh, it's very delicate like that. I gotta take someone who's making like 2 million. Expiring deal making 2 million. Huh, I wish. Gotta get to Sora. Maybe like Alexiak. Could Alexiak work? No. Still, now we're over still. Really 2 million, not 2.9. Really like 2 million. 2 million for Lowry. Okay. Lowry 2 million? Yes. Okay, so that works money-wise. Now we gotta give you more trade value. You know what? We just got our second overall pick. We don't need to be players as much in the draft here. I'll give you pick 60 even. 60, 68, and Zume. Still not enough. A third next year? So a second and 2/3 for a first, and a value prospect of a first as well. Not quite sure. We're about to get kicked out anyways. Do we give Geeky? And there we go. What's the point of the clock again? Do we give Geeky? Or do we want to keep him as fourth line center? Ideally, we want to keep him fourth line center, but he'll never have more trade value than he does now. Maybe now's the time. Let me know what you think while I build this package. Or we throw in a rookie instead of Geeky. A prospect, unsigned prospect maybe. Geeky, Zume. Look for more options. Okay. Rookie skaters, Richardson. And give me Lowry. There you go. Okay, so if I take out Geeky and give it add an unsigned prospect, rookie skaters, one of the guys like Cornet, whatever we've ever figured out what we're gonna call him, third round pick in 2027, medium league potential, playing in Liga. Would he be trade bait? Sakura 77-23. That's not enough trade value there. Kuhlman I don't want to touch. It would be Cornet. A second, a third, Zume, and a medium league prospect for a prospect that's about to be medium top 6. One that's medium elite, but with much higher expectations. I don't know. Is Cornet ever going to become anything? Now he's 19. I don't know if he had much growth over that one season. He was already like a 50-some, I think, when we drafted him. Plays Geeky in a year or so. You're true, not Flex Kex. You're true. You're right. Novotny. Who could be fourth line center? Yeah, he's ready to go soon enough. Heatley, Petrovsky. Keep Cornet, see what happens with him, and put Geeky instead, perhaps, then. So, a second, a third, Zume and Geeky. Both players were signed on to good contracts for a team like Seattle needs to save money. For a first, a prospect that they're burying, and Lowry just for the money. Let me add a pick back just in case. I didn't really want to shop Connor Geeky, but I think this trade works out. With a 6th isn't sufficient at all. Straight up, too far off. With a 6th, too far off. How close does a 5th get us? 5th isn't sufficient at all, really. Okay, so it's not going to work, it's not going to work, but you're because they should have Richardson on the block. Sweeten it just a touch. So it'd probably take a third next year then. I was about to get kicked out again. Third next year. Throw me back a 7th. Trade rejected. Isn't sufficient at all. Oh, it's about to be done! Oh, I hate this game. Oh my goodness. Welcome everybody watching for the 2028 off-season here in Arizona. We just finished our 5th season with the Coyotes. We've won 1 cup, 2 President's Trophies, and we're not done yet here in this Fantasy Draft Franchise Mode series. Let's try and rebuild this trade again. At least in NHL 25 doesn't happen anymore. Yeah, exactly right, Mark. Exactly. Took the words out of my mouth. Geeky. Zume. Second, later third, and third next year. Okay, a second, 2/3 Zume and Geeky for 2 prospects that we want in that first and the medium elite guy. He was 15th overall pick just a couple of years ago. This guy could have good potential. The attributes aren't really speaking to me. 20 years old, 66, but I wonder what a full year in the AHL first line would do for him. And worst case, we flip his value. But I think that could be an interesting reclamation project for us. The attributes are really low, but imagine what some ice time could do for him. Seattle, what do you say? Still too far off. Come on! You want to dump this guy! I'm trying to help you! Alright, the better third then. Pick 68. I have to turn trading down to easy. Still a bit low for us. You're kidding. Okay, we'll come back if we have to then. Forget it, Seattle. We'll come back if we have to. Let's go to LA. LA, what do you have for us? Richardson, I thought Richardson would be a big guy for us. Forget it. What rookie skaters do the Kings have for us? Tanner Howe, who's 76 at 22. Not interesting. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Let's go for 32. The Blues pick at 32. Let's refresh the clock with a sim ahead. Oh my goodness. Come on, back out. Here we go. Pick 32. What prospects do the Blues have? Anything? Yair? Who's this? Yair? Bjorn Yair. 30th overall pick in 2027. Medium top 6, 68-19. Okay, that's not bad. And medium top 4, Ylonen. Thomas Ylonen. I don't know if I want another left side defenseman there. I don't know. I'd rather just take the forward, I think. So if I can get pick 32... Oh my goodness. Pick 32 and the prospect. Straight up for Zume? I don't think so, but probably wouldn't cost that much more. No, I'd have to throw in probably one of our thirds. At least. At 85. No, probably even more than that, yeah. So with the second might get it done. So to move up from 60 to 32, I swap you Zume for Yair. And you aren't super interested. Yeah, they don't seem to want... they don't want seconds. Okay, instead of the second, I'll give you 2/3. I bet that'll go through. Just a quick 7th to balance it out, just in case. A bit low for us. All right, this will go through. There you go. Trade accepted. Thank you, St. Louis. Jordan Zume, being traded to the team that just beat us last year. Thank you, St. Louis. We throw a prospect in our system. We get a better pick as we're about to draft now as well. And there you go. So we get that top 6 prospect in Yair, and we get this top 6 prospect in Marvin Smuskowski. Welcome to the team, Marvin, from the NLA. And there you go. So we get 2 top 6 prospects for 70 overall for Jordan Zume. 70 overall out of the draft as the 32nd overall pick with 3.5-star shooting. Wow. Okay, don't mind if I do. Thank you very much, St. Louis. With medium top 9s going, we snatch up the medium top 6 with a 70 overall. Great. Don't mind if I do. And there's a 72 right after. Wow, Yilson. Kim Yilson. Awesome. Okay, so from here to 34, is there anybody that we really want from here to 34? So 60, no, yeah, from 34 to 60, I should say. Oh, Smoskowski. Oh, why am I saying Smoskowski then? I'm thinking Brian Smolinski. Smoskowitz. Smoskovitz, that's what it is, Smoskowitz. Thank you. Random question, but have you seen the new Star Trek project that brings Shatner back? No! I watched some moments of it on YouTube, but I haven't watched the entire thing. Did you? What did you think about it, Vassie? There's Jacob Malkin. Fan film. Yes, yeah, the fan film. I heard about it. I saw some parts of it. It looked really cool. At 60, there's not much that I really like. There's a low top 6 gem in Rich Spiller. 3 years away for a low top 6 gem. Phenomenal? Cool. Is it on YouTube? I'll watch it tonight. Maybe we trade up for 55 then get Malkin instead. 8- shooting. Let's see if we can trade up for 55. We don't need a ton of prospects in this draft. Maybe it's with the Rangers or so? We want 55, we said. That's for 53? Okay, that's good. Trade for the medium top 6 in the 40s. I don't know if we have the value for that. We have we have 60. Maybe. Let me say it again. Cracknell? Stanley Cracknell. 3 years away at 17 isn't horrible. Let me see how hard it would be to do that. Flynn was low elite. Lad medium's top 4D. It's on YouTube. Pain to find as it's unlisted. Ah, you know what? You want to just send me that link fast if you don't mind? If you have it. F40. So let's try and trade with the Predators. For pick number 39, I'll give you, and you don't want these picks, of course you don't. Thanks, buddy. I'll give you 60 and 156 for 39. Probably not, but no. Because they're not interested, that's the problem. Okay, forget it. You don't want to trade picks, so I'm not even going to try wasting my time. Back to Washington. Where did that bring you? Back to me. You want picks, Washington? Yes, there you go. 60 and 156. Now, when they want it, how much of a difference does that make when they want the picks? Sweeten it just a touch. So instead of 156, I'll trade you 147, and we'll call it a day. Hey, just a bit low for us. So, no, I'm going to give you a 5th and a 7th. I always die so far. Actually, never mind. I'll give you a 5th and a 6th. You give me the 7th. Yeah. I'll take a 7th in next year's draft. Why not? What do you say? Trade accepted. Thank you very much. Okay. So with the 39th overall... the 40th overall pick, we'll go ahead and take Stanley Cracknell from the London Knights of the OHL. Stanley, 62 overall, medium top 6. At 17, not bad. Not bad at all. All right. Next pick at 124. Anyone that we... I'm just going to sort by potential. I'm not going to scroll through everybody. Anyone that we desperately want. The medium elite... Oh, at 92. Yes. The medium elite at 92. Forgot about him. That might be the last guy who we even want in this entire draft. Some low top 6s. Thank you, Vasi. I just got it. You're a gem, buddy. You're a dilithium crystal. There's some low top 4s later in that one. Okay, so next pick is at 124. I have to trade up for what? The start of round 3 is what? I always forget how to count. 65? So 65 plus... So probably pick 25 of the 3rd round, something like that. Let's try to trade with Tampa. We said we want something in the mid-90s. That is 90. Okay. So Tampa, I'll give you 124 and 147 for 90. A 4th and a 5th for a 3rd. Ah, they would do that for sure. Can you give me back 2 7ths so I can draft some of those later guys that I like? Isn't sufficient at all. All right, just 220. Trade accepted. All right, we get back our 7th. So at least we can draft one of those other guys who we're interested in. All right, Sim to pick 90. We'll take the medium elite. Nice and easy. Tukkanen, Kimmo Tukkanen. Welcome. Medium elite, 2-way forward. 59 overall at 19 years of age. Great. And finally at pick 220, with one of the last picks of the draft. We had all of our picks came earlier on. At pick 220, there's Girard at low top 4D. And that'll be our guy. Yep, Girard. Dustin Girard, low top 4D, just to throw some potential in the system. Why not? 53 overall. All right, and there's the draft, ladies and gentlemen, with that big 2nd overall pick in Manlow. Manlow, Smoskovitz, Cracknell, Tukkanen, and Girard. Our selections in this 2028 draft. Okay, advancing to the re-sign phase now. Let's re-sign our scouts. There we go. Maybe they can't Sky, but in this fictional universe, with the multi-billion-dollar infusion that they got, they are alive and well. We are not leaving franchise mode series. That's the great part about franchise mode. You can just create whatever universe you want. Lucia. Nike. Vicky Zubris. Always fun names for the scouts. And finally, Jan Vasicek. Alright. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, re-sign phase now. I don't think there's too much to worry about in the re-sign here. All expiring, so Madden, Johnson. Coyotes Arena was full, was their very last game. It could be, eh? But no, Mullet Arena was sold out more often. What, was that not the case? Because it was a smaller arena, though. I could be wrong. All right, Anders Lee's going to walk. He was a good veteran for us down the stretch. I know you'd only want it like a... Yeah, 2 ideal wouldn't be bad, but he'll regress even more at medium bottom 6 potential. So Anders Lee, I'll let you walk. Let's start with the UFAs, actually. Tyler Madden. We have 2.7 million, so we could re-sign him for the 4th line. It's possible. John Ludwig was good, but for 1.2 million, no. So release. And these unsigned guys will get their entry-level contracts. Novotny, what do you want to say? Hugo Wallet. Shaw, low top 4D, yep. Petrovsky could be 4th line center. Yeah, he could be, but we do have Geeky. We didn't move him away, so that's a good thing. So these guys are all going to join Tucson. RFAs now. Ryan Johnson, are we keeping him? Play in a college... Yeah, that's why Mullet Arena. It was a college arena. In their last... Was it the last 2 seasons or just their final season? No. So, qualify... Petrovsky would go 3 years, eh? Okay, I'll do 3 years on Petrovsky. Allen. We could do 3 years on him as well. Don't mind if I do. Kiskinen, medium top 9. See, we could go 3 years. I don't know if I want to go 3 years, you know? We'll do 2 years on him, then we'll see that last season what happens. I don't want to commit too much to these players. It fills up the AHL team that when we don't want to. Like Gushin, Stranges, they're going to walk now. Why'd they play in a college arena? It had to do with... was it not that the lease ran out? Where they were playing before? Prokop was pretty good. Luke Prokop, what a guy. But we'll release him now. So we're going to keep all these other guys? Unsigned. Maximus Manlow's going to need his contract, most likely. And goalies are good. Ratzlaff will need a contract. Voinov could be our backup next season, though. Ty Young, I'm going to let him walk at this point. 23.74 backup. Same for Thompson, probably, but he's still signed on. So what if we keep Wolf and Vanacek, Ratzlaff could be 3rd goalie, but if Voinov has enough growth over the offseason, he might push Vanacek out of the backup spot. But that doesn't mean, yeah, so Ratzlaff could stay. Actually, no, even Vanacek could stay as 3rd goalie because we'll have 800K. So Ratzlaff is probably excess. But he does want a cheap contract, so I don't mind signing him and then trading him. Ty Young, though, I don't know. He wants one way, 1.2 million. All right, Ty Young, goodbye. Yeah? So UFAs are good. Now the RFAs. Yeah. Roar 23.77. Vinzenz. Okay, I'll give him a contract. 1 year, though. 1 year for the more fringe guys. Like Gustafsson, 73.24, Jordan Gustafsson. Like, I can re-sign guys like him after we figure out what our team looks like. Axel Landon. 3-star defense, 23 medium top 6. Kudryavtsev. Former 7th round pick of the Canucks. What's his defense like? 2.5. Only 2.5 stars. Landon at least is 3 stars. All right, Kudryavtsev will let him walk. Who does that leave us with? In the system, forwards. So that would be... And yeah, Matt, I'm going to give him his contract. Madden, he can get his contract now. New York Rangers, you should make Atlanta a team or something. You know what? We had our Atlanta Thrashers NHL 7 Dynasty mode going for a little while. It kind of just fell apart a little bit, but technically that series is still going. Atlanta could be an expansion for a separate series, absolutely. On NHL 25, once we finish wrapping up NHL 24. On NHL 25, we're currently doing our New York Islanders franchise mode series. If you haven't been watching that, so check it out on the channel. So Tyler Madden wants 1 year at 2.375. 85% of that is 2.018. Yeah, I do agree that he wants too much money, but we have nothing else to spend it on, so it's not a big deal. Maybe he can be the AHL starter, then Ratzlaff can be 3rd, and we sign an AHL backup, or we sign a 3rd and Ratzlaff. Yeah, it'll depend. Let me know, Hobbsy. We'll see what happens after off-season growth. So it is too much, but if he wants to sign for exactly 85%, I would be down to do that because we have enough money for it. My favorite team, the Montreal Canadiens. But I find, and people on the channel here can judge me. I put out enough content that you can judge me now. I think I'm a well-rounded hockey fan. I'm a Canadiens fan. I'm not going to be delusional about the Habs, nor am I going to have unfounded hate for the Maple Leafs and the Bruins, right? So I'm a Canadiens fan, but I think I'm well-rounded as a hockey fan. I can appreciate almost every team in the league. But who is my fandom associated to? Le Canadien Montréal. Blues fan, just like my fiance. Sky, you broke your collarbone, really? Every week, every Tuesday night or Monday night, there's always a new bone that you've broken, eh? Madden wants to go to free agency. Yeah, well, good luck getting more money than that in free agency. Yeah, exactly. The dunking that I do, I probably dunk on the Canadiens. Maybe not more than any other team, but like top 5 teams that I'll dunk on are my own team. So we have almost 3 million here. Come on, Madden. I'm going to give you exactly what you're looking for then if we have 2.9. Come on. We've had a great relationship for years, Tyler Madden. You've bet the whole team. No kidding. Good for you, Sky. That's awesome. I got to try and get Desora in on that. All right, 2 years then on Petrovsky. Let's advance today. Easy decision, easy decision. Great. That leaves us with 1.19 million. Okay, we'll be okay. We'll be all right. Madden was the only guy that we had to resign, really. So he'll be gone after this next season, most likely, once we have other extensions to take care of. So in the system, forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. So yeah, we can sign both the RFA guys then. All 3 of them, actually. But 1-year deals. I'm not sure what's going to happen, so 1-year deals. Make sure they want 800K, not 1.2 million. And if there's anybody else that we need, we can sign in free agency. Easy, easy, easy decision. There you go. I'm going to wait on Maximus. Kulemin's been growing very nicely. 74 overall now for Artem Kulemin. Second round pick in 2027. 30 goals last year in Russia. Really? Wow. That's really impressive. A whole team I haven't been in a few at some point in my mom. Oh, cool. What does your mom do? Something associated with the team? The Myconischal disease. I forgot about that. I just caught that. Jenzy McKenzie. All right, so there we go for the re-sign phase, leaving us with 1.19 million. We'll need an extension for Dustin Wolf next offseason, which is going to be very costly if we keep him. Coming off of the Vezina, he's going to want big money. I forgot to... Sorry, thank you, game, for reminding me. I was looking only at forwards. Where they practice, gotcha. All RFAs. Landon, yeah, I almost forgot Landon. So qualify just in case we lose him. And I can give... No, still 1 year. I don't know what's going to be happening with these guys, so 1 year on Landon. All right, free agency. Been thinking about your qualifying offer. Great. The foot and the hand are better now the collarbone's broken. Next week, what's next week going to be? All right, so now if we look at our extensions for next year. Seneca, Tuzolino, Goudreau, and Dustin Wolf. Seneca is looking at 2 by 3.77. So if we want to keep him as an RFA, at an 85 overall, do we go long-term on Beckett Seneca? 8 years where he's going to be in the 5s? That might be worth it, actually. 8 years. We can do 8 years at 5.5 or even less. Sorry, going the wrong way. We haven't seen much from Beckett Seneca, but if he wants to sign for 5.5, I'd be happy to give him 8 years. Is that a green light, or is that a hold on, let's give him 3 by 3 and then decide in 3 years? Think about that while I take a little sip of water. 3 by 3 or 8 by 5.5? He was a late bloomer. He spent a couple years after his draft in the AHL and the juniors, all that. Okay rookie season, 40-some points. Quiet playoffs. We're really committing to him a bit more than I think we should, but for that dollar amount, I think everyone can walk away happy. It's cheap enough, says Hobbsy. Green from Gen Z. Sky wants the shorter term. So basically, both are 2-1. 4.175. So 3.5 even. It'll be 3 by 3.5. For 2 more million and 5 more years, it's hard to say no to that. So technically, it would even be a bit less. 6.15. 85% is 5.22. I'm going a little bit higher than I have to at 5.5. So let's see what Beckett Seneca says to $44 million. You can eventually replace Bushnevich or whoever else in the top 6. Yep. So Seneca, we'll see what you say. Tuzolino, I'm sure that his ask is way higher. It's not that high. I wouldn't mind 8 years on Tuzolino as well. I'd probably give him exactly what he's asking for. That's a good deal. Even if he never gets better than 82 overall, 3.5 is fine by me. This is what we're seeing in the real world NHL. This is not just a franchise mode thing. In the real world NHL, teams are signing these depth guys, not depth, but like these middle-of-the-pack guys, to long 6, 7, 8-year contracts. Brett Howden in Vegas, Brandon Tanev, guys like that, Ross Colton. So 8 years is a lot on Tuzolino, but as an 82 overall who could go either way, to give him 8 years of certainty and $28 million, I think I could work. He might never even be better than a third pair guy. So worst case, we're paying a third pair guy $3.5 million. Best case, we're paying a second pair guy $3.5 million. I think it's worth the risk. So I will send that as well. We have 15.61 million. So 15.61 minus 5.5 to Seneca minus 3.5 here. We'd be left with 6.61 million. So we'll send that out. Johnny Gaudreau, if he sticks around, we'll wait. Ooh, only wants 1 year, 1.1. But we'll let that work out more. Tyler Madden will be gone most likely. And for the goaltending, Dustin Wolf, let's see what crazy money you want, Dustin Wolf. Yeah, 7 by 8.1. It's not the end of the world, actually. That's not a horrible deal. That's actually pretty good money. 8.15 at 85% would be 7 by 7 on Dustin Wolf wouldn't be crazy, actually. Do we sign that right now before anything changes? 7 by 7 on Dustin Wolf. Can even go 6 if we want to just pay him until he's a little bit younger. So, because this will kick in when he's 28, that'll bring him until he's 34. Yeah, instead of paying him until he's 35 or 36, we'll pay him until he's 34. 6 by 7 on Dustin Wolf. Absolutely. Rest in peace to Johnny Gaudreau. We're trying to give him that Stanley Cup. Do we go 7 by 7 on Dustin Wolf? Gen Z says wait. But wait on what exactly? I don't mind waiting, but wait on what? If he has another very good season, he may very want 9+ million. Worst case, we trade him. I don't think there's any downside to giving him this contract, because worst case, we can trade a good contract like that. It's a very tradable deal. I don't see a 90 overall goalie wanting less than this. We do have Johnny Gaudreau. He's on this team. It's a pretty good Wolf contract, all things considered, but goalies are voodoo. That's exactly it. Goalies are voodoo. So that's why the good thing is it's a tradable contract. It's not 10 million or whatever else. So I'm going to send it. Even if we don't keep him, I don't see... The worst case scenario is we trade him. If we don't signing him, worst case scenario, we trade him. Not signing him, worst case scenario, we want to keep him and he wants 9+ million. So I think I will offer 6 by 7 on Dustin Wolf. Vitek Vanacek, he probably won't be sticking around, sadly. Okay, so there are some extensions. We'll see what ends up happening. In free agency, yeah? UFAs in free agency. Nothing too crazy. Sprong, Stevenson, Fabry, Joseph, Shea, Strome. I don't think we don't have the money, nor do we really have the roster spaces. I can't see new chat messages. Oh, sorry about that. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't see any reason why. Yeah, look at Boldzuk. He wants, as an 82, he wants 6.2 million. So I'm happy to pay Tuzolino what he's asking for. Yeah, look at these asks on defense. Come on now. And goaltending, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, Nedeljkovic, blah, 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 blah. Sorting by potential. Anyone for the AHL here? Kostitsyn. Who's this? Oleg Kostitsyn, former second-round pick. 78 overall. Why wouldn't I sign this guy? 1 year, max two-way deal for Oleg Kostitsyn. Let's see what he says. I've had this issue. I just reload the stream of data. Okay. Are you listening to a Habs game data? You want to update it? No, feel free to give it to me. I haven't been watching. I'll watch after the stream because I'm sure this one won't go too much longer. Who's that? Yuri Bobrovsky would be an interesting pickup, but Oleg Kostitsyn, not bad. Who's this guy? Lovejoy, 1952, 2054. I think just Kostitsyn is the one guy we'll look at signing. Do we want to make any scouting upgrades now? If you look at our scouting staff. Title 1, 5 minutes left in the second. Perfect. I should get some third period action in then. Extra Liga, SHL, Liga. This guy's A+ in Liga and the SHL. Oh, Nordic, so it makes sense. B rated though. Yeah, everyone else. I don't know where the high rated scouts are. That's a B rated Nordic scout. I'll fire this, I guess, B-. There you go. That's the one change we'll make. Can we move forward? I believe we can. Draft class. Draft class. Gotta fix the draft class. Then we'll start simming to next season, see what growth we get, and trying to figure out our lineup for year number 6. So I'll get the randomizer out. Random number 1 to 100. Last year's draft class was what? Last year's draft class was high medium. So we had a number 0, so 1 to 20 will be low. 21 to 79 will be medium. 80 to 100 will be high. First randomization, there it is. 84! High draft, oh no, sorry, I'm sorry. I should have specified. Now I feel bad. When it was a high, usually the year after a high, I make it a bit harder to be high by saying it has to be between 1 and 15 for low, 16 and 84 for medium, and 85 to 100 for high. I should have said that before. Is it too late to run it again? If I run it again, does it tell me something else? Now it'll be medium with 55. We just had a high year, so I'm gonna try to. I know it's. I didn't say it before, but I meant to say it. 85 and up will be high, and I got 84 on the dot, so it makes it look even worse. But who's really keeping me accountable, right? And generated prospect quality 64. So it would be a medium draft, not the end of the world. Instead of another high medium draft, it's gonna be a medium draft. Please forgive me. Maybe we should trade Geeky to get more value. I wonder. Actually, we'll do the trade finder. I don't want to go through every trade block now. I'll go to trade finder. What do they offer for Connor and Geeky right now? We can't have too many highs; it'll flood the system. That's it. So I got to do something about that. So Anaheim will give us a third and a fourth. Basically we get a third and a fourth. Caden Gooley unsigned. Third and a fourth. Third and a third. Akil Thomas and a fourth. P.S. Suter. Callan Lind, probably. Cole Lind. A medium top 6 prospect and a fourth. Straight up prospect from the Blue Jackets. Third and a fourth. Third and a fourth. Third and a third. Bedard for Geeky? Yeah, no problem. Oh, we get a second from Toronto. A second from Toronto. Is it worth it to get a second from the Maple Leafs? Long term. Long term. Like, Buchnevich will be gone. I'm talking long term. Like, in 3 years, Buchnevich will... Sorry, Rantanen will still be here, for example. So, long term is in the next 3 years. Trade Geeks and sign a fourth liner in free agency. Okay, we can look at who's available. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's say 6 of the future. No, but they're going to want to join the top 6 as well. Yeah. Geeky's never going to have room. Hey, Matthew, welcome. Anything big happened? Well, we had the second overall pick because of the offer sheet that we accepted from Marco Kasper from Calgary. So with the second overall pick in the draft, we got... Sorry, my trade value. Maximus Manlow, 80 overall at second overall. That's the big thing that happened so far. The prospects, I don't think they were any... Like, Jérémy Poirier, for example. What are we going to do with him? I know there's Canadians. Maybe there's Justin Poirier. I forget which one it is. Like, 77-19 would be the replacement for Connor Geekie. 4 overall less, but like 5 years younger. Wouldn't be terrible. Former 6th round pick as well. 6th overall pick, sorry. Playmaking center, Timo Huhtinen. Magnus Lander. 2-way forward. We got a pick out of this too. Do we want to trade Geekie? Because even if he has value, he is signed on for 2 more years at a very good AAV. What do they say when I put a 3rd in there? Isn't sufficient at all. Mikko Niskalaidis. Too far off. 4th isn't sufficient at all. Probably be more straight up. Geekie might grow over the offseason even, though. I don't see any reason why we can't wait until the start of the season. Don't get them. Who do we... 77-19 is not going to get much better than that. If we traded Geekie, who would replace him on the 4th line? Not much out there. Sean Couturier, Hendrix Lapierre, yeah, Cody Glass, someone like that. But Petrovsky's there too. I want to wait for growth. I don't want to force a move and then we're up the creek and we say, oh, we should have kept him. Let's start swimming to next season. Cracked him for it. I just drafted him in the 2nd round 2 days ago. You want to give me a 3rd and a 5th for him. Tuzolino signed... Oh, nice. So Tuzolino extends for 8 years. Oleg Kostitsyn goes to Chicago, no problem. And now we're just waiting on Dustin Wolf, 7x7. And Beckett Seneca, whew, 8x5.5. 3 huge extensions taken care of. Wow. I'm glad that that's done already. If I look at the contracts quickly, how much does that leave us with in extension dollars? All expiring. That leaves us with 2.56, so we should still be fine to sign Goudreau. I thought it was going to be tighter than that. Nice. That's great news. Alright, keep on simming to next season now. Ryan Johnson, you going to sign, buddy? All these trades. Stop offering me junk. First thing I get is a trade offer. Not even looking. I wonder if Wume would even crack 90 overall, but we should see some growth over this offseason. Hopefully as well from Chimera and Coyle. Ryan Johnson. What do you want, Ryan Johnson? Yeah, 1 year, 800K. Why haven't you signed that yet? Why do you have to be a holdout? There you go. Extremely happy. Most generous. Yeah, it's league minimum, man. It's the least I can give you. Oh, yeah. These guys make me laugh. All right, here we go. 2028. What kind of growth do we see to enter year number 6? Wume 89, Seneca 85, Chimera 82, Coyle still an 80, Goudreau down to 79. Defense, Shady up to a 91. Boakfist, I think, grew an X Factor. Wolf to 90, great. Let's start placing people now. Forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 Petrovsky. So let me send him down just for a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'd rather have Bichelle than Johnson. Gotta check. Did Voinov grow? He's 78. Sorry. Call up Ratzlaff. There you go. How does it look in the AHL then, if we do that? Best line's here, and best line's there. We have to sign a couple names, or who's this guy? Casey Bruce? No, yeah, that was one of our prospects. So he should be okay overall-wise here. So Sikora 77, Valley get up to a 75. Yeah, probably AHL starter for one more year on Voinov, who's a 78 overall. Vyacheslav Voinov. Last year was the starter. Looked good, 21, 15, and 5. But one more year as a starter for him before he becomes our full-time backup, or maybe even pushing to be starter soon enough with his minor league potential. Kenny Thompson will back him up. Now, Benson, Matthews, Rantanen will stick. Buchnevich, Johnson, May, that's going to stick as well. Seneca, Coyle, Chimera is what I was thinking. Seneca's listed as a second-line forward even. Seneca, Roberto Coyle is a depth forward, but let's give him a chance. And Hector Chimera. Not great for chemistry. Then Madden, Geeky, and Goudreau. Yeah, Geeky, fourth-line center. Worst case, we could move Geeky back up. And no, I don't want to move Coyle down. I think this is our lineup. While on defense, Byram Shady, Tuzolino Nemec, Bichelle Boqvist. With him getting power play time and all that. Boqvist last year was third pair, but he was still playing over 20 minutes per night, so it shouldn't be a problem. Wolf backed up by Vanacek. And there you go. So then as 13th forward, Petrovsky gets called up. And Jonathan is 7th D. So then really in the AHL, the lines would be more like this, but I'll move it around to make sure the guys with the most potential are getting the ice time. Sorry, then I want to look on defense. Why is this guy in low top 4D? Yeah. Okay. So I'll fix up the special teams and whatnot, but I think this would be our lineup to begin the season. And that's not even... Oh, we forgot about Maximus Manlow. Sheesh, almost forgot about Maximus. Hold on a sec. Maxi! Any growth from Maximus? Or do we leave him unsigned? Maximus, still an 80 overall, now 18 years old. Maximus Manlow with the 5-star shooting. If he plays, he needs at least top 9 and probably at least second unit power play. So if Maximus comes in this lineup, who is dropping out of the top 9? Scratching Madden works, or even trading Geeky works. But then who drops from the top 9 to the 4th line? Where does Manlow go? Or do we wait one more year? But what's next? If we wait a year, what's that going to do for Maximus? No one in this top 6 is leaving by next season. Maybe Buchnevich, but if he continues to score 70-plus points every year, why am I going to force him out when he's making on that great contract too? I don't envision this top 6 changing really in the near future. But I wait for next season. Yeah. Maybe someone really doesn't work out. Like if Chimera doesn't work out. But for right now, I don't see Manlow having a spot really. Left 92 overall, unsigned in the Kraken franchise. Yeah. We've done it before. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying if he joined the team, he would contribute. With 5-star shooting, he would contribute. It's not like in the Islanders series where we're trying to force it for Porter Martone. If we put Maximus in this lineup, he would contribute. But at the cost of Chimera or Coyle's development, I don't know. Already Seneca should be a second liner, but we're going to give him power play. Johnny Gaudreau will be gone. If we win the Cup, Gaudreau will be gone. Madden will be gone as well, but those are 2 4th-line spots. And we could trade Geeky, but again, 4th-line spots. So there you go. So that's something to think about for your comments, ladies and gentlemen, that you'll leave down here in the comments. The AGMs down in the YouTube comments or on the Discord server, link in the description. If you want to add in your thoughts before the next live stream. What do we know about next year's drafts? Anything? A few things? Good. Extensions are mostly taken care of. There are the NHL and AHL lines. Let's look at the trade blocks, and then we'll call it an episode. Coaching staff shouldn't change either. Kraken and Schechten. Yes, so do I. So do I. Our A-plus head coach will stay. Yeah, so let's look at the trade blocks, and then that'll be it for the episode as we move into year number 6, 2028-29. Next episode. Likely next Monday, by the way. So remember in the draft, we have a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and Florida's 7th. So we have one of each in next year's draft. Looking at the trade blocks now. So Slavin's on the block in Anaheim, sorting by overall. 88 overall with 1 year left on his deal. Slavin, that'll be something to pick him up. DeMello, Kulak, Alexiev. Boston, nobody. Buffalo. Cooley is an RFA. Unsigned RFA for Buffalo on the left side. Interesting. Catford, Cowan. Calgary, Gregor. Look at that trade value on Noah Gregor. Texier, Nosen, Nason? Always forget. And Milano. Carolina, Jeff Skinner back in Carolina, and P.S. Patrick Kane Suter. Chicago, not too much. Colorado, Chiarelli, Landeskog, Roslovic, Yamamoto, Denisenko, Jenner, Lozone, Labushkin, Lafferty. Sheesh. A lot of names for the Avalanche. Blue Jackets, some prospects here. Yeah, some prospects in Columbus. Dallas, Riley, Sprong, Lehkonen, Shea, Samuelson, Pareko, Carrier, and Hiroshi. Detroit, Ahonen, 89 overall, Ola Ahonen, the 2nd overall pick in 2025 on the trade block as an RFA. All these great options, but where would they go? We'd have to make some sort of big blockbuster where value or even a top 6 piece is traded out. And after back-to-back President's Trophies, I can't see that happening. Veleno, Garland, Pelech, Whitecloud, Alexiak, and Mahura in Florida. LA Kings, still Tanner Howe and company. Minnesota Wild, not too much there. Canadians, nothing. Predators, Nugent Hopkins at 35. Bernard Docker, Haig, Faxa, McLeod. New Jersey, not too much. Lilia, this defenseman here. Islanders, nothing. Rangers, nothing. Senators, Dumba and Stetcher. Flyers, not too much. Penguins, Ekblad and Rasmus Anderson, 2 right-side defensemen. San Jose, Carrick. Seattle, nothing really. St. Louis, Zetterlund at an 85 overall. Fabian Zetterlund. Tampa, nothing. Toronto, not much. Enland, that prospect there. Vancouver, Hagel, Fogel. Pesci, McCabe, Montour, Phillips, Stillman. Vegas, not too much there. Washington, Derhuisseau as a prospect. And Winnipeg, not too much either. All right, so the trade blocks aren't super interesting, I gotta say. But you can leave your suggestions for the season ahead down here in the YouTube comments or over on our Discord server. As I said, the link is in the description. I think that does it for the 2028 offseason, ladies and gentlemen. Dumba made his way to Ottawa. There you go, Hobbsy. I'm going to go ahead and fix up the special teams, but this should be our lineup to begin the season. Now, not only lineup changes, but what are your first changes if we're starting to hit into turbulence? Who would be the first one to go up or go down in this bottom 6 especially? I don't think the top 6 changes, though, unless there's some major issues. You guys in trade block, in my opinion, too bad our roster. Yeah, that's interesting guys, but not for the roster that we have. That's what I'm trying to say. Defense and whatnot, get in your thoughts, and that's about it. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Hope you had a lovely Tuesday evening here with us on the channel. Sorry for the rough start with the audio and everything, but I hope you enjoyed the last hour 15. Not the busiest of off seasons, but a big 2nd overall pick with Maximus joining the organization. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and of course, subscribe if you haven't already for all of our series here on the channel, our live streams, our career sims. Speaking of career sims, which we haven't done in months because of how bad the NHL 25 menus are, keep an eye out, and announcements coming your way tonight in the Discord server on career simulations. So that's about it. Looking forward to seeing you next week, likely next Monday. So very likely our next Coyotes live stream would be on November or even December 1st, could it be? Is that next Monday? Let me see on the calendar. Is it already December by next Coyotes stream? Oh my goodness. Yeah, whoa, yeah, it's true. December 2nd even. Very likely December 2nd for the next stream. Simishev Career Sim. Yeah, December 2nd. All right, everybody, keep an eye on the Discord server for the updated schedule, but likely next Monday for the 2028-29 season. Year number 6 for the Coyotes. Soon enough, it honestly might be our last season. Year number 6 might be our last full episodic season where it's season, playoffs, and off-season. After year 6, for year 7, 8, 9, 10, Or for year 8, 9, 10, I'm not sure. We'll see. It'll probably be all of that in one big stream, like flying through it very quickly, as if it's a career, like a long-term sim. So without doing trades and lines, it'll just be President of Hockey Ops type stuff that we do at the end of most of our franchise modes. So likely 1, max 2 more seasons with the Coyotes. Then the big wrap-up in like a 3-season stream. And then we'll move to our next franchise mode series, NHL 25, which at this point might be with the Predators, with how the things are going in Nashville. But our next NHL 25 franchise mode series, our live stream series, will be coming soon once we wrap up the Coyotes. I would think in 3 to, not like, definitely less than 10 episodes. 3, 4, so between 4 and 7 episodes probably left for the Coyotes. All right, that's long enough of an outro. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Have a great rest of your night. Much love. We're not leaving, and I'll see you on Thursday, unless anything changes, for our MLB The Show 24 Expo stream. Night, everybody.